the Home Pros Radio Show.
I'm Tommy Donovan with RIC Home Inspections, and this is the Home Pros Radio Show podcast. Spring is upon us, and this means it's time to help our homes transition out of the cold winter months. There are a number of maintenance items that we want to keep top of mind this time of year, and to help, we have prepared for you our Home Pros Radio Show Spring Maintenance Checklist. In this episode of our podcast, Danny Baker from Quality Performance Pressure Washing joins us as we discuss some of the items on our list that will help prepare the exterior of your home for the spring showers and the summer heat. We have Danny Baker with Quality Performance Pressure Washing.
Good morning, guys.
Yeah, thanks for joining us this morning. Why pressure washing? Why do people need a pressure wash?
Well, just, you want to keep your house looking good, right? Mm-hmm. You want to protect the house, Yeah. If you have mold, algae, airborne contaminants, anything that can stick to the house, stay on there for a long period of time, mm-hmm. it's going to add quicker deterioration to the material of the house, okay? You're going to have premature paint failure. That's just things that are going to cost you a lot more money later down the road rather than just having it pressure washed once or twice a year,
But now, what's the difference between pressure washing and just taking a garden hose to the house? Why do we need a pressure wash?
Yeah, there are certain materials, obviously, you don't want to just put total hard pressure and you can scar up, siding or anything like that. But you want to be able to use the right chemicals. But adding more water flow will get inside some of the crevices and things of the vinyl and clean it out the right way.
Excellent. Good deal. And that leads us into our spring home maintenance checklist, which, by the way, we're going to give you an audio cue today. Every time we hit an item on our checklist, you're going to hear Sonic the Hedgehog. Number one on our list here is... Jot it down. Clean decks, fences, siding, and exterior surfaces. You want to make sure that everything's free and clear of any debris, especially on siding. Tell us a little bit about the issues that can be caused if you're not cleaning out your siding regularly.
Yeah, absolutely. Any kind of, like I said, the mold and algae and things like that stick on the siding for a long period of time, it's really going to cause, it can actually cause permanent stain to the siding. It really just, I see a lot of vines and bushes around the house. That's one thing that I really tell people not to let happen. But when you start seeing vines starting to go up the vinyl on the wall, that can be a major problem because it's going to grow root systems into the vinyl and then it starts splitting. Mm-hmm. And once it starts splitting, then moisture is able to get behind there. And it's just going to be a huge problem.
And that kind of leads into some of the other issues that we have later on down our list. But there's a lot that vegetation and moisture can do to the exterior of a house. What about, it mentions here, clean your decks, mm-hmm. and fences too. A lot of folks leave those unattended to.
Right.
They do have a lifespan, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's the same thing. It's going to cause the wood to rot a lot quicker than you want it to, obviously, if you don't clean that mold off, and you want to protect it. You want to put a sealant on there every 4, 5, 6 years. Depending on what you put on there. But, you want to keep it protected because it's
if it's treated, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think some people think, oh, well, it's treated wood. I don't worry about it.
No, you absolutely need to do that, especially a lot of houses have big trees and a lot of shade in the backyard. Those are the ones that are really go quick if you don't stay up on keeping it maintained.
Yeah, where that moisture just builds up, and then the algae and the mold. And that helps deteriorate.
That's right.
The wood. So by cleaning it off, you're saving it. You're making the life expectancy of the product mm-hmm. last a lot longer. And that's with everything that you're pretty much cleaning. Mm-hmm. It's just like any other maintenance, pretty much. Just clean it to where it doesn't eat itself away, pretty much.
Absolutely. And you talk about, the mold and things sitting on the deck or the concrete, your sidewalk, your driveway. We were talking earlier. Do you want your kids out playing in the driveway and the sidewalk and on a moldy driveway and then, they're touching their face and all that? You don't want that.
Normally I just tell them to go head out to the street.
That's right. Much safer, kids.
Yeah. So, and when it comes to decks and fences, it says here that we need to treat them or refinish them every 4 to 6 years. That sound about right?
Yeah, absolutely. I would definitely do that, though.
I guess like you said, Shane, I guess it depends on exposure to the elements.
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely.
Wind and rain. And also with the sealant that you use, because there are different kinds, right?
Right. There's so many different kinds. I mean, and a lot of people like the colored look. You know, they want a stain that has more of a tint to it. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people just like the natural look. They just want the natural wood looking. So, I mean, it's your preference. I mean, but there's obviously tons of different kinds you can put on there.
I guess the rule of thumb with those is usually your clear polyurethane or sealant. That usually has the shortest life expectancy. Mm-hmm. Then you got your tinted sealants, which, you know, usually you're looking at a little bit longer than 4 to 6 years.
Right.
It can last. And then you have your painted on sealant, which will tend to last a little bit longer, which leads us into the next topic on our list. Clean siding and pressure washer. Clean siding with a pressure washer and keep mold from growing around exterior wood trim. Actually, that leads us also to our RIC home inspections.
The RIC home inspections photo from the field.
So if you're
looking at, I know what I'm doing.
Did you see that? That's right. You see that on Facebook. We've got our photos that we posted on Facebook. One of those photos, the one in the lower right-hand corner, check it out. It has, it's kind of hard to see because this was a covered porch, but that's also why we had this issue at this door. If you look closely to it, you see a lot of mold and mildew and grime and everything on the wood trim. We want to clean with a pressure washer and reseal a lot of that wood. Also in the upper left-hand corner, that's a photo from just a couple of weeks ago. I could probably put my finger through that wood trim.
Yeah.
And it was at a dormer up on the second-story level of the house that no one really ever got to.
Yeah.
Not even the folks who did wood trim on the house, because other areas were repaired, but that dormer was completely shot.
One of those places people just never get to, don't even realize that there's a problem there.
Exactly. So, you know, check your wood trim very closely at the eaves, around windows and doors. If wood is showing through, sand it down, prime it. What are your recommendations there, Dan?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you've got to keep that clean. And once you get it's going to have mold and all that on there. So you have to get all that stuff off. You want to put something on there that's going to kill it, and then refinish it with some paint or some, stain. Like you said, you got to protect that because you don't want rotten windowsills, I promise you.
Mm-hmm. Bigger problems.
Big time.
It'll just lead on to other things, because I was in the attic of that house and you could see stains all in the attic framing and all that. And actually that issue I discovered before I even went out on the roof, because I could see it in the attic. It was really interesting. That obviously had been left quite some time without being addressed. Also, the next thing on our list, clean your windows and check your screens. And I'm not just talking about the wood, but the glass, right? Mm-hmm. So it's time for a good spring cleaning. Do you pressure wash windows?
Yeah, I do. I mean,
do you really?
I don't. You don't want to absolutely blow the window out.
Right.
That gets expensive too.
That would.
But you do want to clean it, and I use it's a soap that's a spot-free finish. So when I get done with the windows, it looks like you're actually squeegeeing. Uh-huh. So it really.
So they only have to clean the inside,
right,
which is ideal, because who wants to go on the outside on 2-story windows?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'd say it's worth it just for that. I mean, who wants to? I wouldn't want to.
What about screens? Is there any rule of thumb on how to handle those or anything like that?
Well, I kind of leave that up to the homeowner. I mean, I let them know a lot of it's going to drain out, but if they don't want it to go through the whole hassle of getting the screens out, you can clean the windows. Everything's going to drain out, but you will probably have to go back and wipe the seal from the inside of the house real good.
Right.
So, I mean, it's not that big of a deal, but a lot of people, I like taking the screens off, if they want to do that, because everything is just a lot easier to clean the bottom seal from, pressure washing. Mm-hmm. So,
gotcha. And if you have any damaged screens this time of year, you want to go ahead and repair any punctured or damaged screens, and save some screens if you replace any. Save some of that screen material to patch future issues. Mm-hmm. Let's go to the next item on the list, which is inspecting your roof, looking for slip shingles or high nails, cracked or missing shingles, exposed nails. a lot of things you can accomplish by just getting up on your roof. Sometimes you, depending on some houses, you don't even have to get up on it. You could use binoculars. I always recommend getting on it because there have been plenty of times that I found something on the roof that I didn't notice from the ground.
Right.
But,
I'll tell you another thing is, it's easier for a homeowner to do than go up on the roof is to go in your attic and look around, see if there's any leaks, see if you see any water spots anywhere, especially if you are it's not like you're up there shooting at the shingles or whatnot, but after a rain or, anything that would have had a significant amount of water on the roof, maybe go up in your attic and really look around, make sure there's no spots or anything, because just like anything else, the earlier you catch it, the better off you are.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And do you do any roof cleaning?
I do, but I tried to stay away from that. I'm not a big fan of getting up there. When I was younger, it didn't bother me. But now that I'm older and got kids, I'm not a big fan of getting up there.
And I would also think that there's a certain amount as a pressure washer, there's a certain amount of care you need to take.
Absolutely.
On a roof. You can't just go up there.
Can't go up there and just pressure wash it. I mean, it's got to be a very soft wash. I use more volume of water cleaning it, but it takes a lot of good chemicals too. It's hard to get some of that black off sometimes, but it just takes a lot of chemical and a good soft wash to it.
And also cleaning your gutters is important. I mean, huge. The leaves aren't falling. This is a big time for cleaning gutters. Oh, yeah. Believe it or not, we've got, oak trees that are dropping their tassels, and we got pollen everywhere and all that good stuff. And it can be a headache even for a pressure washer.
Oh, right? Absolutely. I mean, I have a lot of people request me, cleaning the gutters out. And a lot of times I'll get up there and just blow them out first before I even clean the whole house because, obviously that stuff's going to blow everywhere.
Yeah.
But you want to keep them clean because that's what you'll see a lot of the tiger striping and the black marks and all over that.
All across the front.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And that's just because it's not draining good. It's running over and then drying on there as dirty water. And that stuff just don't pressure wash off. You got to pretty much scrub it off.
Another item on the list here, we've got, if you have a masonry chimney, check the joints. All right. Look at any stair-step cracks in the brick or any separations. The photo that we have on our RIC Home Inspections photo from the field, we've got a photo of a chimney crown, and that's the top of your chimney between the outside of your chimney and your flue. A lot of times I'll get up on roofs just like this one and find cracks.
Yeah.
We want to get those sealed because what can happen, Shane?
You get water gets down in there. I mean, obviously, it's not going to freeze in the middle of the summer, but water starts getting down in there, penetrating, and if it does freeze, it expands, it cracks, it makes everything worse. It's just another one of those things that just the longer you leave it, the worse it's going to get.
If you get moisture moving through a chimney like that, one of the things to look for, one indication would be efflorescence. Yeah,
what a fancy word.
Efflorescence actually is that calcium look, right? You've seen it, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
Being a pressure washer, you probably see it more often than we do. And it's just it's a white calcium-like deposit, indicates moisture's passing through your masonry. We actually talk about it, and so it was featured in one of our recent podcast episodes, episode number 36 from the Southern Home and Garden Show. I was asking attendees, what's efflorescence? We got all kinds of answers. It was fun. So check out that episode if you want to have some fun with that topic. But we definitely want to keep the moisture from coming in our chimney. Those cracks on the chimney we see a lot. How do you repair it? Seal with a clear water-resistant type of caulk or other type of water-resistant barrier. Some areas you might want to brush on. Others you can get a caulking gun and fill in and that sort of thing. But keeping the water out is important. What about inside the attic? Underneath the chimney in your roof? Well, we want to go in and look for signs of insects or pests. What are some of the things we typically see in an attic when it comes to critters?
Holes in the insulation?
I'll see nests.
Oh, yeah, you see nests, holes in the insulation where critters have been nesting down in there. You see how kind of...
Look for little flecks here and there and scattered about. It's usually mouse poop. Ew. But that's usually a sign that you've got some critters up in your attic. And also, the other thing you'll see in the insulation is what? You'll see like those little trails.
Oh, yeah.
It's really funny. It almost looks like somebody was digging a trench all across your attic. So, in through your insulation. So that's another item. Let's go ahead and check it off our list. We're talking about attic. we didn't really talk about ventilation, but we want to make sure ventilation is good in our attic, especially as we approach the hot time of year. Make sure our attic vents are free and clear, but also our foundation vents.
Oh, yeah.
Huge this time of year.
Oh, yeah. All the ventilation in the house this time of year is very, very important.
It's important to make sure that our home is breathing. Isn't that right, Danny?
Right. Absolutely.
Trim bushes, trim trees away from the house.
Yes.
I'm going to go ahead and add that to our list.
I'm sure that's a major player in your business.
It is.
When the tree's sitting there rubbing against and you have the algae growing up on the vinyl because the tree's been touching it. I'm sure that's a big player
and
on yours.
It stays wet all the time. The sun does it can't get through there to dry it out. So, I mean, it's always going to have a lot of mold.
Yeah, and as we're on this topic, we also want to check off another item on our list while we're doing that, which is making sure our foundation vents are free and clear. Because of the fact that it's going to get humid, it's going to get wet, we need to make sure air movement is happening throughout the foundation of the home. So let's make sure we get that done. Special thanks to Danny Baker with Quality Performance Pressure Washing for joining us on the show. He has some stunning before and after photos from a number of jobs that he has completed for homeowners across the upstate. To check him out, look him up on Facebook at Quality Performance LLC. There, you will also find a collection of excellent reviews he's received as a member of Home Advisor. You can also reach Quality Performance Pressure Washing by phone at 770-866-4347. Part 2 of our spring maintenance checklist is coming up in the next episode of the Home Pros Radio Show podcast. Make sure you don't miss it by subscribing to the podcast. Also, if you have friends or family who could use some advice on keeping up with their home this spring, please feel free to send this podcast their way by clicking the share button. We'd very much appreciate it, and your friends will too. That's going to do it for now for the Home Pros Radio Show podcast. I'm Tommy Donovan with RIC Home Inspections. Shane and I will look forward to you joining us for part 2 of our Home Pros Radio Show Spring Maintenance Checklist.
Thank you for listening to the Home Pros Radio Show. If you have a question for the Home Pros, visit us online at homeprosradio.com, where you can contact us directly and also learn more about the topics and guests we bring to you each week. It's the Home Pros Radio Show online at homeprosradio.com or on the radio at 94.5 WGTK, The Answer.